I think I'm what Hollywood would call ethnically ambiguous.
Side note, when you're choosing to label yourself according to what Hollywood would label you as in 2016, there's a problem. I just love how this is set up to be an emotional tearjerker, because that's what these people do. That's what Buzzfeed, leftist social sphere, social media sites do. They have to take advantage of the emotionally fragile demographic to incite a sense of anger, frustration at society, culture, and manifest that sense of being victimized. We've seen this plenty of times. You know, nothing new at all. It's just, you know, better editing, better music, and the such. But side note, because you're about to see a bunch of people just make a bunch of pity party excuses about how people identify them racially and don't understand who they really are or whatever. If you believe that race determines that much of your character and your personality and correspondence to your outcomes and your quality of your life, you have a racist mentality. I'm tempted to call you a racist because there's probably more potential for you to just continue that mindset throughout life in a derogatory manner, but you definitely have a racist mentality, and that race determines so much of what you believe.
When people first glance at me, I mean, the first thing they see is a white guy, and usually I'll have to end up explaining to people that I am half Mexican and half white.
Oh, the horror. People see a white guy, and supposedly there is a mix of Mexican inside of you. So that is detrimental to you in your public sphere of social interaction day to day. The fact that people don't acknowledge the fact that you're of Mexican descent, I guess, because you are probably the whitest, pastiest guy in this video. So I don't know where you're even getting with that. But because the fact that people now acknowledge your Mexican ancestry, what do you get out of that? Where does that get you in life? I see where it gets you in life. It gets you to be a victim in a Buzzfeed video crying because nobody knows who you truly are. As if that is even an identity.
No one has ever been able to correctly identify who I am my entire life.
I've gotten Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, half black, half white.
People think I'm Asian.
Egyptian, Polynesian.
Misreads me in some way. It's very hard to guess Danish and Indian from a first glance.
Yes, because the first thing that I do when I see somebody new is try to guess their racial background. I don't think you people see what you're actually doing to yourself. I mean, obviously you're getting what you want. You want this social attention. You want all of this hoopla. But you're making society and this culture even more about race. It's not about race to this degree, thankfully yet. But you continue on with this bullcrap, it will be.
Sometimes I wish I could walk in and just like be recognized as like a Mexican American.
I'm gonna be a little harsh on you here, buddy, because don't get me wrong, guys. You'll have to understand what's going on in this whole video. Everyone in this video has made life decisions up to this point that they don't feel fulfilled in. They don't feel fulfilled, or else they wouldn't be up here. Maybe they're just getting paid, who knows. But the people who are falling for this, the people in this video, they've made decisions in life that they are not content with. They don't feel fulfilled. They feel like they're probably coming to the reality that they're really not amounting to anything in life. Well, what do we do in this new age when we feel this way? Well, we used to just work our butts off and get out there in the real world and make something out of ourselves, but no. Now we come at culture and society for being the ones oppressing us, for not racially identifying us. You think that because somebody's going to see you and know that you had a Mexican ancestry that now you're something else than you were? You're miserable. You're not doing something right now in your life to make something. And it's not anyone else's fault but yourself.
Sometimes people will come up to me on the street and like start speaking Spanish frantically, and I can't respond because I don't speak Spanish.
How is that a problem? That's like my friend who wore, he wore some super tight jeans one day and some Converse, and apparently he had the bottom of his jeans rolled up. So this dude sitting next to him thought he was gay. I mean, it's just life. The impressions, the way you look, sometimes people just make assumptions. I mean, that is a part of life. What are you advocating for, other than just showing off your mangina?
Rejection from sort of both sides of my ethnic identity. Just something that I grew up with my whole life. Like, I don't fit in. I don't belong.
And this is what ticks me off about these so-called progressives, because they're supposed to be liberating individuality and the betterment of society, when really all this is right here is setting up a platform for people to see labels of racial groups, to separate by their races. I mean, it doesn't get any more simple than that. I mean, you want to feel unique, you want to feel individual, but you're plunging yourself into this demand for people to see you as your racial counterpart and your racial counterpart only.
I never saw myself as different from anybody else until someone else pointed it out.
You gave yourself away, baby, because you care so much what people think. I promise you do. I know people like you. I promise. The catalyst for everything in this video is because you care so much what people think.
We talk about race like it's this like built-in intrinsic thing, but the reality is we're mostly talking about looks, right?
You just gave yourself away, dude. You just said that race is nothing but looks. You believe that. So if you believe that, then why is the crux of this whole video how you need racial acknowledgement to make yourself feel better? Because if you can believe that race is just looks, like you just said, you can't believe the opposite. So where does this lead us? Oh, I see it clear as day. You want to be a victim.
If I'm going to be white, well then why can't I have blonde hair and blue eyes? If I'm going to be Mexican, then why can't I have dark skin and speak perfect Spanish? People think I'm Asian, why can't I have, be really tiny and skinny and like fit into all these stereotypes? But I'm not a stereotype, I'm just like me.
Again, just like the last guy, you gave yourself away. You just said you don't see race as anything more than superficial stereotypes, because that's really what it is. But the crux of this whole video is how you need racial acknowledgement to make yourself feel better. So I think what you need to do is ask yourself, do a character reflection moment, ask yourself, well, why am I in this video? Oh, maybe it's just because I want attention and I want to be a victim. Because you gotta see that you don't believe the theme of this video. So then why are you in it?
And for mixed people who sort of live in between the lines, we sort of just have to kind of be more than our racial background.
How does that logic make any sense? You're saying that the current generations must carry the legacy, the burdens, and the weight of their previous racial ancestors. So what do the current generations of what used to be the Nazi lineage, what do they do? Do they have to walk around with guilt every single day? Your logic is so flawed and hateful, honestly, in my opinion. And there's definitely no progressivism in it. And furthermore, the solution to historic injustice is not modern injustice, which is what you're advocating for.